Set out to make a really respectable, a really solid gangster movie.
Antonio Soprano.
What made Tony the Tony we know? And that's one of the main questions in our movie, one of the main storylines in our movie. We don't answer it too explicitly because that's not what David Chase does for a living. But you see the nudges that lead him on the path that he's going to go into. We start in 67, and there's a time cut, and we pick up the story again in 71. We go from Tony, played by William Ludwig, as a 10-year-old, and then we jump ahead to Michael Gandolfini as more of a teenager.
He's kind of a nerdy, sensitive, bell-bottom wearing kid, sort of navigating a really complicated time in his life and historically in a very divided area of New Jersey where he's really just sort of searching for any sort of guidance. He really just wants a friend or a father figure or some sort of parent to take him under his wing. And that's, it's a very different Tony. It's a very young, naive, sensitive Tony that we meet in this movie.
He only listens to Dickie.
I want to do whatever I can to help you.
The key character is Dickie, and his story is entirely contained in the movie, beginning, middle, and end. And he's somebody who just gets talked about in the series. So one of the things that makes this a standalone movie that you don't have to necessarily do Sopranos homework for is the fact that Dickie is his own character in this movie.
I played Dickie Moltisanti, who was Christopher Moltisanti's dad, who was dead before the show, and had been talked a lot about during the show as being a formative influence on Tony. Chrissy wasn't born until well into his 40s, and Dickie really longed for a son of his own. And Tony, he really kind of loved as a kind of surrogate father. And Tony's parents were absent a lot in his childhood. His dad was in jail and his mom was half crazy. And Dickie was the guy who really took an interest in his life, for better and for worse.
Gotta do something about Dickie Moltisanti.
And you see other characters that are also not quite formed yet, like Livia, the world's worst mother in the series. In this, you see her much prior to that, where she's not locked into that yet. You see glimmers of her mothering instinct. You see glimmers of her being sort of sexy and flirty with her husband. All the characters, you see the array of things they might have become before they got channeled into what we know from the show, I think. And that's sort of the main theme and the main question. Of course, some people will always be, Paulie's always going to be Paulie. He knows who he is, and that's part of his charm, and that's why audiences love him, I think.
I'm Billy Magnuson, and I played Paulie Walnuts.
Dick, I just got this jacket.
I think he's actually building up his reputation inside the crime family and finding his own footing within that world. I think he's at a young level with there in the hierarchy. He's trying to build his way up it. I think, again, he's a fun guy. He's loyal. He's supportive, and I think that's why they keep him around.
I'm Corey Stoll. I play Uncle Junior. Junior is in the awkward position of working for his little brother. We're not quite sure, how that happened, how Johnny Boy surpassed Junior so quickly and to be sort of at the center of this crime family. But Junior seems okay with it. But as we see as the movie goes by, he's not so okay with it.
It's about a deeply haunted person involved with very dangerous things and dangerous thoughts. I don't know that that's a hallmark or a necessity for a gangster movie. That's just the way this turned out. I like that.